Okay, today I'm gonna do my homework from my teacher. So let's begin.
I thought we'd spend today talking about COVID-19 in the news.
I thought we spend today talking about COVID-19 in the news.
And also use this topic as a chance to explore some news-related words and phrases.
And also use the topic as chain to explore some news-related words and phrases.
Also, after episode 7 of series 1, thanking our essential workers, one of our listeners wrote in to recommend journalists as another category of essential workers.
Also, after episode 7 of series 1 thanking our essential workers, one of our listeners wrote in to recommend journalists as another category of essential workers.
So, thank you journalists. We appreciate all those of you who are out there pursuing truth on our behalf.
So thank you journalists, we appreciate all these of you who are out there praising through on our behalf.
Now, firstly, I'd like to give you a few key words and phrases to do with news and journalism that you need to listen out for during the talk.
Now firstly, I'd like to give you a few keywords and phrases to do with news and journalism that you need to listen out from during the talk.
If you pause now and go get a pen and paper to make a note of them, I'll wait.
If you pause now and go get a pen and paper to make a note of them, I'll wait.
Okay, write down the following words and phrases and then listen and tick when you hear them.
Okay, write down the following words and phrases and listen to take when you hear them.
News reports, news coverage, news headlines, mass media, breaking news, analysis, interviews, editorials, feature stories, human interest, opinion pieces, newspaper, news broadcast.
News reports, news coverage, news headlines, mass media, breaking news, analysis, interviews, editorials, feature stories, human interest, opinion pieces, newspaper, news broadcasts.
And here's an extra challenge. One of those phrases is not in the talk.
And here's an extra challenge. One of these phrases is not in the talk.
So listen carefully, and at the end I'll tell you which one it is.
So listen carefully and in the end I will tell you which one it is.
I don't know how you experienced the COVID-19 pandemic as an item in the news.
I don't know how you experience the COVID-19 pandemic as a item in the news.
But I suspect for many of you it was something like this.
But I suspect for many of you it was something like this.
At first we watched sympathetically as it began in Wuhan. News
At first we watched subsequently as in begin in Wuhan.
reports told us of a terrible tragedy that was happening over there, spreading slowly to nearby countries like Hong Kong and Korea.
News reports told us of a terrible tragedy that was happening over there, spreading slowly to nearby countries like Hong Kong and Korea.
Yeah, and the poor people trapped on cruise ships like the Diamond Princess.
And the poor people trapped of cruise ships like the Diamond Princess.
Slowly the world realized that it would go from something specific to concentrated populations in large cities in Asia to something everywhere.
Slowly the world realized that it would go from something specific to concentrated population in large cities in Asia to something everywhere.
Italy and Iran entered the battle, followed
Italy and Iran entered the battle,
by more European countries.
followed by more European countries,
Australia, the Middle East and South America, and eventually the United States.
Australia, the Middle East and South America, and eventually the United States.
News coverage of the pandemic has reflected this change in perspective.
News coverage of the pandemic has reflected this change perspective. Okay, that's all from me. I'm gonna say thank you to all of you.